Hi guys, Sandy from the Paddle School here. In this video today, we're going to do an intermediate match analysis. This was sent by our friends in Egypt, and today we're going to focus a little bit more on the technical areas. Normally we focus a lot on the tactics, court position, and stuff like that. So today we're going to focus a little bit more on the actual shots. So we're going to look at the return, how to deal with the glass, the attacking shot after the glass, which is the Bajada, and then we're going to finish by looking at some smashes. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. We post at least once a week a new video on paddle that is designed specifically to improve your game. So after the intro, we're going to go straight into the return. The most common error with the return is late preparation, and there you can see not enough time for the shot. And here on the serve goes, the ball bounces, and still he hasn't moved until the ball bounces, and then when it hits the glass, the racket is barely halfway back, and it's impossible to have a full swing in that short space of time. Again, we see another example of late movement, late preparation, and therefore just has to flick the wrist at the end because that racket is not back fast enough or early enough on that return. So when it comes to the decision, you have to say either before the glass or after the side glass. You only take it after double glass if it's really going deep into that corner, it's going to bounce out. Here you can see the ball bounces on that front panel of glass only halfway up, and the player's left it to play after double glass, and it's never going to be bouncing out far enough to hit that shot after the double glass. Again, with the decision here, you've got to decide before or after, but not moving laterally to the glass to try and swing. You could see a few mistakes with the return, and it means that you can't be accurate or consistent. The first is to prepare early, get yourself quickly into position, and then while you're doing that, make the decision if you're going to play before the glass or let it bounce and play after the glass. And when you make that decision, stick with it. That's your choice, go for it, and if you've made a mistake, then you've made a mistake and you learn for next time. But it's important that you go for your decision and not be tentative and kind of jab at the ball. Next, we're going to look at how to deal with the glasses. Avoidance is usually the first problem when it comes to dealing with that glass, and that's often from a tennis background. Here you can see the volley going in and the player trying to half volley and pick that ball up, which is really difficult. Even if they do hit it, it's not going to be a very consistent shot. The other option is that players don't move their feet and then have a kind of swipe at it at the end with a fast racket head, and therefore it's difficult to keep control of that ball. And again, we're seeing another example of it going into the glass and the player not moving their feet into the right position, and they end up having to scoop the ball because they're too far forward. Dealing with the glass can be tricky because it's quite a foreign thing for players coming to the paddle court, and if you're new, especially if you're from tennis, you'll try and avoid the glass at all costs, hitting half volleys and volleys, doing anything for the ball not to touch that back glass. But what you want to really do is practice using that glass, and then you're going to get better at it. Another thing that we see is players' footwork, it freezes, and then they end up trying to swipe at the ball at the last minute. Now, the glass is really complicated, whether it's the side glass or the back glass, double glass, and we've got a whole course on how to use the walls on thepaddleschool.com. I'll put the link down in the description below, but here this is a really good place if you want to get better at using the glass. The next shot we're going to talk about is the Bajada, which is where it bounces, it comes off the glass and you're able to attack it. The Bajada is a tricky one because most players kind of wander back like this, you see, and then scoop the ball, and then the player at this end does exactly the same, where their feet are facing backwards, they're waiting for the ball, and they end up scooping again for a lob. And we're going to see again a 3 in a row where the players are just scooping this ball up for a Bajada when they do have the opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive with it. You need to get back early in preparation if you want to hit a good attacking shot after the glass. This was probably firstly a backhand, but also you need to get further back if you want a chance. Scooping the ball is inevitably going to lead to a shot that doesn't attack. And again, just a little bit close to the body there. That was the right idea though, just trying to get a little bit more behind the ball, a bit more space, and you could be a little bit more aggressive on that ball. Here we're going to see again a nice high lob. This would be the perfect opportunity here. The racket is underneath the ball, so you know it's a lob, so you get back immediately, and when you move back, take that racket back early. Here you can see the racket's not back early, it comes up now, but the swing actually is all in that last split second you can see there, and it's so difficult to control the racket head. The biggest problem with the Bajada, and we saw it in these clips as well, is that players don't think that they can attack this ball. They get lobbed from the net and they kind of wander back and they stay in this position near the service line and then end up scooping the ball back to their opponents. Whereas if they move fast, get back, early prepare with the racket, they can actually attack the majority of these balls. There's going to be a few that end up close to the glass and then you're going to have to lob on those and you don't have that option to attack. But the majority of them, if you get back early with your racket up behind the ball, your body also gets behind the ball, you can actually get your body momentum into that and be aggressive. Starting off with a couple of good examples of the smash here, and these ones I really like just because they're with control and you win the point and there's very minimal risk. So you see the player comes forward here, has the chance for the smash and just goes controlled into that corner. It's nothing special, it hits a nice part of the corner and means that he ends up winning the point. He hasn't tried to overpower the opponent, and we're going to see another good example here, this time to the other diagonal. Again, just controlled into that corner, the person was out of position and therefore they win the point. Now we're going to look at some examples where you don't want to be doing this. So here, for example, hitting flat against that back glass leads the opponents to come forward. If you're going to hit flat and aggressive, you have to be winning the point on that smash. We're going to see another example here. It's kind of midway back and the racket hasn't gone back yet. You see the ball is already dropping, there's no preparation and therefore it bounces up. Yeah, if you want to get that racket back as early as physically possible, if you want to hit a consistent shot. Again, we're going to see another attacking smash. Again, the preparation, the racket is down here. You can see it's only like 6 or 7 feet above the player and therefore you're late on the shot. That preparation is really important when it comes to this smash. Here we're seeing another one where it comes off that glass and again you've given the opponents an opportunity. Yeah? So if you're going to be aggressive with it, you have to be really close to the net. And again we see another example, an easier smash that they come forward and you end up losing the point. You've got to make sure that you go for that smash when they're at the back of the court out of position and you have an easy ball. When it comes to the smashing, the most effective smashing is usually the ones that's controlled and accurate into the corners of the court and forces your opponents either to make a mistake or to give you a really easy one to finish. Now, those are the type of smashes you want to hit when you're slightly further back in the court, and only when you're really close and your opponents are against the back glass do you go for that more aggressive flat smash. And here you could see a few of the mistakes the players were making. We're going for the flat smash a bit further back, it's bouncing down, coming off that back glass, and the opponents are allowed to come forward and suddenly they're in the advantage in the point. You can see that there's a running theme for a lot of these videos. If you prepare early, get into position early, and also you hit kind of control and sensible shots, you will play better paddle. That is just across the board, that's the way you want to approach your paddle if you want to improve. Now on this side, I'm going to put some more technical videos on the Bandeja and the Bajada, which is that attacking ball after the glass, and I'll also put a link to the Walls course for those of you that want to improve your defending in the corners.